Dyson Sphere program. My name is Pooks, and tonight we will be continuing on our massive factory expansion. Kind of. We'll actually be making a science planet, is the intent here, because I really want to speed up the production of my white science, so I can get a few more upgrades here, a bit more veins utilization. I feel like that will be a good thing, because at the moment we've got 240. Yeah, so we're at 50% consumption of ore, which I think we can really improve that a bit. And I also want to do a few other upgrades as well. Hell, we might even just decide to win the game at some point. Anyway, so to do that, we have most of the components we need. So we're producing our graviton lenses, we're producing our quantum chips. Antimatter will be our limiting factor for a bit, a certain amount of, I think, but we should be able to get around that fairly easily with a few upgrades. Particle broadband is probably going to be a big thing that we need to deal with. And yeah, otherwise we're kind of well set up for it. So I guess we'll be working towards a science planet rather than doing it immediately. Or maybe, see, straight away I start thinking of things. But yeah, we'll build our science planet in this episode. It just might not be very well supplied, I think. But before we go do the science planet, we're going to head to your basic, and we're going to make sure that that's getting plenty of material of power. Sorry, not materials. Coming in and making sure that all the basic stuff that we'll need is kind of covered here. So, for example, where are these? Yeah, for example, these rings. Like we're using them beyond belief at the moment. Local demand, I think that should be at. And yeah, our green guys here being used. Our cogs aren't, I don't think. Yep, cogs are all good. Plenty of cogs. Basically, ooh, microcrystalline components. Definitely being used. Is that a local supply? No. Yeah, so we could actually probably do with some expansion in your basic as well. Oh wait, hang on. We got a couple of these. Already, yeah, we're good. We're good there. Probably the mag rails or mag coils though deserve an expansion at some point. But we just check on the power here. Yeah, we don't have great satisfaction on our power, so we're gonna fix that. I've decided that my power experiment was a failure, basically. It is a failure of an experiment, and we want to make sure that this is keeping up with demand and not going to fall behind. So I might just use, if I can, and I should be able to, I can't see why not, this little spot here between veins to set up power. Alright, so it is going to need to demand some, where is it? Power here. Maybe not 14,000. Feel like 1,000 should be enough. Remote demand, local storage. I'll give you some warpers. And a few of these guys, so you can go pick them up whenever you need to. Cool. Alright, so those are being demanded at the moment. They should come in shortly-ish. And they're going to run these artificial stars across here, and we'll just need to hit the plus button a couple of times. Expand that out. And then run our belts out to follow it. Do that. Need some power. Might run it a little bit further because I know how power hungry these factory worlds are, which is very. In case you were wondering, they are very hungry for power. And we want to make sure that they're not going to just keel over and just not work. Be very inconvenient if they do. Alright, out of building range. We're nearly there. Yep, there we go. Sure that those sorters have power supplies, and we should be good. So as soon as those the antimatter, yep, they've arrived. Amazing, these aren't turning on. Why are they turning on? Discharge is high enough at the moment. That seems wrong to me, but on the other hand, I'm not seeing any of them switch on, and as long as we have 100% capacity, I will be happy. I swear I saw a little yellow flashy thing. Oh yeah, actually it was a... Yeah, there we are. There's a few of them switching on. Alright. Good move. Because the materials must flow along with the spice. Now, the other thing that we need to expand out before we run and do, or at some point we're going to need it, so we're going to make a quick trip. We're going to use our words and make a quick trip to June. And the reason we're going to do that is because we are desperately low on carbon nanotubing. And so we need to expand out the factories of those things as much as possible. And yeah, this was suffering the same problem there, is that it is having a power problem. Yes. Alright. So I'm going to do the same thing, except for I'm going to make this as close to the pole as possible. Maybe about there. And do a ring of you guys. Now, the reason for this is being down in the pole is rather simple, because these chemical plants take up an awful lot of space, And I'm going to need as much non-polar region as possible dedicated to chemical plants. It will only be very small chemical factories that I can really put up in polar regions, so it's ideal for power. Now the other thing I should be doing while I'm doing this is actually this. So again, we'll need to use the plus just to make that line up. No, that's not lining up. Why? Come on, there we go. Audio cue when you do this as well to put down sorters. For some reason it's one of the ones where you just don't hear anything. You don't know if you've done it right or not. And we're of course going to need some power links here. Make sure those Tesla towers have got power. Power too. And then once I've done this, we'll need to hook it up to the main power grid. As a result, I'm going to be drawing down on my antimatter a fair bit more than I have been previously. So it'll be interesting to see how that works, or if it works, I guess is maybe the better question. Or are we going to have a problem? Now I might just put one of these because it'll stretch out a little bit further. These guys up, and on switches the artificial suns, and we no longer have a power problem. Of course, we're still very close to not having the satisfaction here. Like, we're still very close to having a power problem. Oh, wait, we've got a couple that just ain't switched on. What's going on here, guys? Come on. I've used up all your antimatter. Yeah, waiting on another supply. Well, here's another 7. Spend them wisely. Alright, while I am here, we're gonna drop down another factory. Hopefully I blueprinted this one. Where is it? We don't need a graphene. We want a... Can I search? Could have had books. That would have been an idea. Oh well. It's plastic. Hogs. Graphene. It doesn't look like it. That's alright. We can make one from the local environs. So carbon nanotubing. You're looking very carbon nanotubey. We're gonna make you. Hello, sir. We'd like to clone you. Why? That just sounds delightful. And we'll grab you. Like so. Thank you much. Now I'm going to use it. And I'm going to see. I just saw something switch on, right? So I don't think we can put it there, but maybe we can. Nah, it's not going to be. That won't work. Maybe up the top here. Top is actually looking surprisingly good. We need some miners. Yep, maybe not. Actually, maybe if we just go along here. Can we do another one? Yes, yes we can. Alright. Well, let's go get that all placed. Just gonna run down this end. This part done. I need to increase my drone speeds. If I can outrun my drones, then they are not going fast enough. So let's queue up that research straight away, actually. Drone engine, right? Queue. Now, this guy, you're going to be transporting things away from the looks of things. And then on the other side of things here, I'm going to need power on the top. Then copy that part of the blueprint. Come on, dronies. There we go. Just gotta keep placing these things. Which at the current frame rate is a little bit, well, shall we say slow? Slow is a good word for it. Sorry for the mic bumps there, just preventing you from copping a earful of sneeze. And never a good thing to cop an area full of. Alright, we're nearly there. Just a few odds and ends to go. And this will be placed and we can get on with this science thing. I'm also kind of curious to know where I may have put in all my science buildings. I can't remember if I ended up building them in a mall or not. I'm hoping I did. But either way, it's probably going to be at the home planet, maybe. This is missing. This. Alright, now it should be requesting things like crazy. Yep, it is. Here's the paint. Good. And it's requesting the graphene and the titanium ingots. The thing. Titanium's going to take a little bit longer than the other stuff to get here, but that should be another row of these done, which is nice. Alright, that'll help our supply issue, because I'm pretty sure the other ones that are building these are, yeah, they're crying because they just can't keep up. Something demands them locally. Paint factories, that's right. Alright, now they're switching on. We seem to have a power problem. Alright, let's just make sure I didn't miss anything else here. Let's go into kind of light orbit. What light? It's the low sugar variety. Okay, I think we're good. So that'll kind of band-aid that. I think we're definitely going to need a lot more. But we're going to do something that we haven't done for a while, and that's head back to Big Brain. And to Earth specifically. Alright. It is a bit of a hike, I have to say. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to do my big factory so far from my core systems. Oh well. Right, we're coming in. There's the stations I want there. Slow down slightly. And here we are at Earth. Oh, we went down to 9 frames a second for a bit there. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And as you can see here, things are not looking great in terms of supply side. We definitely do not have the planers going on that we should. Hang on, we should have the planers going on. They're all... We should have more than enough planers. That's wrong. This should keep this occupied perfectly. Should be perfectly balanced. Oh well. Probably not really an issue anymore. What we're gonna do though is see if we can find things that I need the mole here. Oh, we got batteries. Nice. Ah, I might want some of those. Do I have anything that can start power? No, I don't. Right. Keep that in mind. Yeah, actually I will. I'm gonna grab a few of these because it has been my downfall previously. There you go. Heap of charged accumulators. I want sciencey buildings, but oh, here we are. Matrix lab. Did something happen? Did I just... What? Matrix lab is one thing that I would have expected that we would have had heaps of. Okay, something's wrong with them all. Where are these being built? Matrix labs. Hello? Could I maybe just switch? Oh, here they are. Looking very much like they should be producing something, but they're not. Alright, maybe I stuffed up the ingredients. What's going on here? What's the big idea? You're saying that you don't have... Oh, yeah. You really don't have those. I didn't do this. Oh man, and here I'm thinking it would have all the things that we need, but we don't have all the things that we need. Alright, well, while that's catching up now, I do know that I'm going to need to pick up a few other ingredients around here. These. Grab a chunk of them. And I'm going to need a few more of these too. Maybe not 1,000, but certainly a few of them. I'm just going to kind of hope that I put a heap of them in a box somewhere. Kind of feel like that's something I would do. Maybe somewhere around here. Great. Not looking great at all. Alright. Well, while we're around, let's have a look at our antimatter stuff. Where are you? Down here. Alright, this thing here is... Yeah, it's producing our power, and we barely have 1,200. Now the main lack at the moment actually seems to be hydrogen more than it does anything else. So I'm just going to go local demand here. We'll put it down to about here. Top it up with hydrogen basically. Go. Here it comes. Should turn more of these factories online. These ones at the end currently are not getting enough to actually switch on, and that's now solved. Alright, now it should balance itself, but I'm just going to set it to local storage instead. We should have equal parts antimatter and matter being used for these things. It's basically all down to the production of antimatter from these things, which we're certainly using up all that antimatter, and we're not producing enough photons at the moment, so yeah. It's a good deal here, but it's probably not. And we really desperately need to increase our antimatter production at some point too. Yep, it's all being requested out. Feels like I'm trying to plug holes with my fingers here. Yeah, and all that's being requested to be shipped off too. Maybe we really shouldn't be looking at research. Maybe instead we should be looking at antimatter production. Or at minimum, you know, photon production. That seems to be our limiting factor at the moment. How's our local Dyson sphere? We're requesting more power than we're actually generating, right? So that will slow down our photon generation as well. Part of it might be these dudes up the top here, they're requesting power. Not really doing much with it. Or we could do more by making it into photons instead, but yeah, these are our big power hogs, basically. Alright. So, we need more antimatter. And that kind of lends itself to actually going back to that other planet. No, right, no, we're not doing that. Much as that would be good for us, and is probably the thing that we should do. I just came from there, damn it. We're gonna grab a heap of labs, and we're gonna go set some of this other planet up. Alright, so research. I think it was gonna be the cursor system. Maybe. Was it the cursor? I don't know. Or maybe the Murphac. Or maybe it was Straya. No, it's not Murphac. I feel like it was. Oh, come on. I painted the planet pink. I've got to remember where it was. I don't think it was an ice field Gillisol. No, it wasn't a prairie that we did this on. Australia is sounding like it. Hot pink research, there we go. I did name it. Alright, we'll set it up so it can run. Yeah, there's our research pausing because we're out of antimatter. We'll set it up so it can run. But ultimately, it's not going to run. And then we'll head back to Arrakis and get it to actually start outputting some at least photon cells. Hot pink research there. Alright, prepare your eyes, people. Oh! Man, why did I do this? At least it's got a smiley face on it. So, here we go. Here we are at Hot Pink Research. So again, we're going to want power for this thing. So we'll call this our power station up the top here. This thing can also bring in, I think, paint and warpers and power. Now I could use just a lower level of power rather than antimatter, I suppose, but nah. Local storage, remote storage. I'm not going to set it up so it demands it yet because there's more important planets to power, but that's what's going to happen here. Now it's going to demand some of these and supply locally. Give it some of this. And then it's going to remote demand and local supply some paint. Oh, that's too much paint. Yep, that'll work. Alright. We'll set up our power here. Again, I'm going to use the ones at the poles, work relatively close to it. And this should supply us with plenty of power, hopefully. Stop that up. We want it to be that, and then that. And then run along, please. I'll set this part up first. I kind of feel like I'll need it. Right, that. Just to see where I need to put down power poles. Alright, so that's going to be our power supply for this planet. Oh my eyes, the pink. Alright, so nothing should be flashing yellow anymore. We want it all flashing red. I think we've achieved that. Yeah, we have. Alright, cool. So, from here, let's go stand in the sun to appreciate the gloriousness that is the hot pink planet. And work out what we need in terms of research. And I think the best way to do that is to set up a palette, but set it up in such a way that we can do it so that we have ratios. And if you don't know what I mean, it's going to be very apparent very soon. Right? So, blue, let's do this in order, red, orange, Where's purple? Green. And I feel like I'm singing the rainbow now. And then the final one is the actual research. Right? So, timings of all this. Our blue science completes in 3 seconds. Our red science completes in 6 seconds. So for every blue science, we're going to need 2 reds. Our structure matrix completes in 8 seconds. So already my logic is falling down, but let's just give it another 2. And we'll have oversupply of this. And then same deal with purple. This is 24 seconds to complete this, but it produces 2, so it's really 12. And then the white science takes 15 seconds to produce 1. Now, the kind of crappy thing about that is that it's not divisible by 2. Because up until then, we could divide everything by 2, except for the, yeah, actually, except for the electromagnetic ones. But I think everything can fit into 30, maybe. Nope. Nope, definitely not. It's like one of those maths problems that's, you know, in high school, pick the lowest number that this is all going to be divisible into. And I'm really not good at that. But think as rough averages. See, rough averages are going to just mean that I get oversupplied by stuff. Am I going to care though? Probably not. What am I going to be oversupplied on? Probably on the higher tier stuff. I think. Yeah. Then it's pretty easy to make up these things. Alright, we'll take it. And then, to reduce this research, I don't know how many would need consuming it, to be honest. Alright. So that basically, though, gives me my towers. So let's start off with our first tower group. So if I do full towers of things. Right, so we've got max height. You're going to be blue. And I might do a group of 4 of these. Actually, I'm just going to do a group of 2 of them for the time. Oh, should I? I don't know. Yeah, I am. I'm thinking this is gonna be like the trick of the chessboard, right? You start off with 1 grain of rice and you double it every square, and then you have more rice and it's actually being produced on the planet. It's gonna be a trick like that. Alright, we'll leave it open though, so that it's got a little bit, well, it's got space to grow, right? I don't think space is gonna be a real problem on this particular science setup. I think that the number of labs that I have is going to be the problem. But for those 2 there, I'm going to need these guys here. Alright, so there's our red stuff. We're going to move on and do our yellow stuff now. So for every one of these, I'm going to need 3 of these. So we'll need to do a group of 6. And these are going to chew through resources like nothing else. Yes, I may be starting to doubt the wisdom of this, but it's too late now. Alright, that is going to be our yellow. Alright. Next up is purple. So same deal for every, well, for every one of these, I'm going to need 4 of these. I'm going to need a group of 8. I like to, yeah. Just going to stack these up. And yeah, we're going to run out of labs. Well, at least I predicted it. What I do is just lay out the foundations of all this. You can always stack it up later. Okay. Then from here, what's next? That was going to be purple, right? So then for every one of these, we're going to need 10 of these all up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10 there. Yep, I'm definitely gonna just kind of steal from this stack here. Not everything, but enough. And then for white sides, for every one of these, we're gonna need 1, 2, 3. All right, so we'll need a group of 12. Okay, so you're going to be white. Let's lay this out so at least... that doesn't work. Oh, would that work actually? Hang on. Thinking about inputs into this, right? So white science needs all of these plus antimatter. So I don't think that'll work in that sort of layout there. So I think I'm actually going to need to do this. Because it needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inputs. And then it still needs an output. Crap. Ah, this one will be tricky customer, eh? So so let's think this one through. If I go input, no, wrong way. Oh, should it be though? No, yeah. Never mind me, just rambling. Input, 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 and then do the same over here. Input, input, input. Just kind of stack this up one. Tell it to go along here. And I should, I think, be able to just go like that and then up. For my outputs. I'm gonna keep this going up for a bit. In case I decide to do more. Or as soon as I do one more blue, I'm gonna need another heap of these. Or maybe I'll just do a new module of it. That might be the safer option. Alright, let's look at the inputs for other stuff. Alright, so that's all our whites done. Now I think the faster way to lay this down is actually just go green, for example. I'm gonna need groups of 5 here. Really stuff that up. Alright, there's a group of 5. Gonna be purple. So these ones are easier enough because they're just easy to click on. Cool. Alright. Purple, green, white, yellow, red, blue. We've got that all laid out. Got our basic ratios. And then finally, all this will need to actually go into something to do the research. So I think it only makes sense, even if it is half the bloody planet away. Or maybe it's not that far. Should I really just start building on the furthest away point from my smiley face? Yeah, pretty close to that. Oops. Oh, hang on. Yeah. It makes sense for the smiley face, for, you know, the research, the happy place, to all happen here. Alright, so it's not that far. I mean, we could have been closer, really, but... So if we're doing all that, how fast do we actually research? Plus 60 hash a second per researching speed. So 400% at the moment. I don't know what that means, but I think maybe if we just go with 4 to start off with. Yeah, we could do it. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to destroy the mosaic, so we're going to do it just above it. Beautiful, beautiful mosaic. Oh god. Alright, like there. Cool. These guys are going to be our research guys. Okay, we have science land laid out, kind of. Now, what's going to go here is all this is going to come into, all of the necessary supplies are going to come into interstellar logistics station here. It is going to be importing antimatter and Yeah, I'm gonna run out of slots. Damn you, sir. It's alright, we'll just do a second. Right, we're definitely gonna need warpers for this stuff, right? And we're probably gonna want paint. Local demand, remote storage. Remote storage. Local demand. I'll keep that at 14,000 because we are gonna want a big old chunk of them coming in. Now you can go for white and green, because why not? Local demand. Just be storage sort of stuff. And then you guys can be purple, orange, red, and blue, and then still ask for warpers. Local demand, remote storage. A chunk of these, you a chunk of them as well as some of your own Interstellar guys. % on drones, don't send stuff unless you need to. Alright, that's pretty good. Now, what will happen from here is we need all this stuff to go into here. Now we need 6 belts in, which we can do with 2 sort of belty things. Oh, you don't need antimatter. Ah, excellent. Alright, wasted slot. Oh well. So, white stuff, go along like so. That's a bad place to put the kink. In fact, I'm just going to stop that. No kink here. Do that. Children, stop that kink. Good name for a band right there. I meant that as in teenagers, just to be really clear. I just thought, hang on, that sounds mildly horrifying. And by mildly, I mean completely. Right. Oh god. Stop talking. Alright, we have the science rolling in. And then we're going to want this all proliferated before we end up doing research. Hence the paint. So the paint line actually wondering for a second if there might be a better way, but I was going to do it out the back, but we'll do it out from the front instead. Just gonna run along the side here. Will give us our power. Everything as well. like that. This is the old way of connecting up everything, just manually click, click, click. You know, the arthritis method. Before they put in blueprints. Now, of course, I have to do it again because the copy across function doesn't work because it wants to stack them instead. Not that I'm complaining, because, you know, it kind of makes sense. Just noticing. Alright, so that will hook up this. Also just grab some satellites to kind of try and send that power up here. Grab the power from up here. And we've yet to set up this sort of area as well. So we'll use our satellite substations to try and get as far down as possible. So power, alright, we've got a fairly close power link now. And I'm going to keep that. I wish I'd put it in a different place, but I'm going to keep it. Alright, so this thing, I'm going to supply these guys, and that's this guy can supply these. This guy can supply these. Hello, autosave. This thing can supply this. And this thing can supply this. Then finally, these need supply. Now, I was originally thinking this, but then I've just realized it's actually going to need 6 inputs. And so, that's not great. So I think it's actually going to need a double logistics station. Let's do that. So we'll use these two. Alright, so you are going to want this, this, this. You're going to want this and antimatter. You're going to want whoppers, and we'll also get you to grab some paint. And you're going to want whoppers as well, but you ain't going to need paint. You're going to local demand these, and storage. You'll eventually ask for those, but not just now. You're going to local demand these ones and remote storage them. Local demand, remote storage, and let's just keep you down to 500 in paint. Local demand, remote storage. These guys. And a few. Do you need these? No, you don't actually. You will. 100% load on drones, please. Alright, and that should satisfy our needs for those. Now, this thing is going to need particle broadband and processors. You're going to want paint, and you're going to want warpers. And finally, you're going to have these. So you're going to supply these locally. then you're going to local demand those. And at some point I'll switch these over to remote demand. Not right now, but at some point I will. We'll also give it some logistics drones. The reason why I'm switching it, not switching it on, because it'll just suck up a whole heap of resources that I'm not going to be able to use straight away. Alright, so I might belt this one up as well. And it'll come back that way. Again, we do that. Then we definitely want to proliferate our materials here. Get the most out of them. Basically, we'll get extra science. Won't proliferate the way into it though, because it's going to proliferate at the other stations. Right, so output, input, input. Setting up power. Alright, so that's purple all set up and done. And that's kind of how these things are going to all be laid out. And that way, when I want to expand out a chunk, I can just you know, blueprint one of them and drop them somewhere. Alright, so you're doing the blue stuff. So for blue science, we're going to need green circuits and particles. Or mag coils, that's it. This, paint, and then you're going to send stuff away. Alright, so you're going to supply locally. You're going to demand paint. Demand walkers. Do we need? Yeah, we do. Some of these. Some of these. At some point I'll switch that on, but not right now. Actually, did I give you? Yeah, I did. Good. So local storage for those two. 100% on drones if you're going to move stuff around. Cool. Alright. Tell it to do this. And then this. And we'll do that. Alright, should be able to do much the same here. getting there. Getting there. Fill this up. So we're going to have input, input, output, input, input, output. And then on this side, I think output's going to need to go there. Input, input. Alright. And these guys. Alright, that should power everything, so now we just need paint. Alright, so that gives us our next kind of station thing done. Red. Red needs hydrogen and graphite. Sure, I really export all that much graphite actually. I should set this up. Oops. Right, so hydrogen, energetic graphite. You're gonna have red stuff. You're gonna need some paint, and you're gonna want some warpers. Supply these. Eventually you're going to demand these things. Give you some of these. Drones at 100%. Give you a heap of them. And we're good. Now hydrogen out like that. And graphite out like that. Red stuff coming in. I'm going to do the exact same thing here. In. Alright, so input, input, output, input, input, output. And the same here, input, input, output, input, input, output. Wait, on these, did I do a yeah, I did a double rung. That's like so stupid and unnecessary. And oh well. Oh well. Set these guys up. Painty goodness. Power goodness. And we're done with the red part of it. Seems faster. Not sure why. Yellow. Diamonds and crystally, all things crystal, basically. Where are you? Diamonds. Squinting real hard. Diamonds. There we go. Yellow stuff. warpers and paint. Demand. I mean, local demand, and you can supply until, yeah. Cool, all done. Grab me some of these. Titanium crystals, that was the word that I was searching for before. Okay, we're gonna want some... Oh, it doesn't matter which direction, I suppose. Oh, maybe it does matter direction. Is there a direction on this? Does anyone know? Hello chat. Give me a direction here. Now I'm just gonna run this around. Not for any reason, just feel like it. Actually, I would think I was gonna have issues just connecting those up properly, so that is a real reason. These. Input, output. Okay, another one down. Next up is the green part, and I have definitely put this too close. What am I going to do with my paint? That's alright, we'll work it out. Now, for green science, we're going to need that and that, alright? So, getting ever more expensive. Green science, that, and paint. Across, this and across. I feel like I might actually have a paint supply issue eventually here. So my big paint supplier was up here. Yeah, I might set that as a threshold. Just because of the amount of things that are demanding paint, and the delay in getting paint from Arrakis will be fairly substantive. I love that my paint factory is on a planet called June. The paint must flow. I mean, I could have at least, you know, done strange matter on June or something, make it kind of fit in with the narrative, but no. Right, do that. Cool. Cool beans, just need to hook it up. Input, output. everything's flashing red, which, believe it or not, is actually a good sign. And we're down to the white signs. You know what? We're just gonna let it be a modular sort of thing. Take it down. It can go in there. Alright, so you're meant to be a white signs thing. Ah, you're not. You have a spare space. Good, because you can supply those. Cool. Alright, so we've already set up our things here. All we need to do is set up our belts. So, you have purple, green, antimatter. Alright, so we'll go purple. Green. Then antimatter. And blue. Red. Yellow. And then this little bit here is going to be full of proliferators. So we can get that paint in. And then from here we're going to need sorters. So, oh crap. Almost immediately stuffed it up, but I feel like we made a good recovery. Damn perspective. Come on, in you go. Nearly done. Right. Now we're going to make use of these little gaps here to power it all up, which is kind of neat. I like it. I like it when I'm accidentally neat. And then we actually need a bridging power here. Excellent. Okay, so I think we have pretty much done it. This complex is actually, I think, ready for materials. So as soon as that is feasible, we can just come here and switch on the supplies, basically. Now, it's not feasible at the moment. We really don't have the materials to do this. Or rather, I'm a little bit worried about the antimatter production or the power necessary for this place. I believe that means everything's kind of hooked up and ready to go when we have it. Right. We're in the summer zone too. How exciting. So I think this is where I'll leave it tonight. We have tonight set up the science planet. Next time we're going to do some mass photon generation. So the plan from here is to head back to the Arrakis system and head to Arrakis launch and start powering up some of those. Oh, look at that. I want to go have a look. We'll talk through the plans as we fly. We'll just check on the progress of our Dyson sphere over there. But basically I want to power up some of the ray receivers on Arrakis launch. Or maybe move some to the poles and start having them ray receive from there, or something to get us more photons, and then we can start supplying those, because we do have a bit of a shortage and we want to produce more antimatter. It's becoming or is the source of most of our power at the moment. So that is the plan for the next episode. But for the remainder of tonight, we're just going to drop by Arrakis launch or the Arrakis system and just check out to see how our Dyson sphere there is progressing, because I really want to see. So it's a little bit far out of Arrakis launch actually, so I'm probably going to stop in a little bit further in system, maybe about here. Nice. Slowly coming together, this tangled mess of panels going everywhere. Let's just have a look what it says. It's the progress. So about 2/3 of the way through layer 1, slightly behind on the other layers. And we are definitely going to need more solar sails being shot off into space. That's fine. But soon we should be able to start seeing this alignment function happen. Yeah, it's about to here. You can see that alignment here coming up, and now it's all really going to depend on the angle that you're at. But yeah, in the next episode, the plan is all these ray receivers here that are currently just kind of really supplementing power to this place. They're going to be switched on to be doing something a little bit better. In particular, we're going to switch them over to photon generation instead. I mean, I can just do that now and have outputs. The problem is that it's going to be much better with graviton lens power, so that's what I want to spend some time on. Oh, hello autosave. Come on autosave. Please finish autosave. There we go. Alright. So I want to spend some time maybe trying to plug some graviton lenses into these things. And then start getting some photons out. wonder if there's been a change to these. Can we now? It'd be nice if we could just belt straight through, but I don't think we can do that yet. Yeah, it's an import-export function. Or maybe I won't use graviton lenses. I mean, we have an awful lot of them. The only downside is that they're not really at the poles, and they will lose, especially without graviton lenses, they'll just lose the ability to see the sun a lot more frequently. You won't get that continuous receiving bonus. But with enough of them, it may not matter. Yeah, that could be a thing. We just tell it to produce photons instead. Stop doing local power. Produce 3 a minute, but when they're all doing that, do we care? How many it's requesting at the moment? Request is always constant. Potentially I could just waste a whole heap of power trying to do that if I'm reading it wrong. I mean, 74 gigawatts though, that's an awful lot of power coming out of this thing. Here's a big Dyson sphere. Well, it's not big, it's just got 4 shells. Anyway, that is where we're living it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed tonight's stream. If you did enjoy tonight's stream, you can of course drop me a follow. It's always greatly appreciated, and you can continue on our journey. Yeah, see the robots waving. Otherwise, if you're watching later on YouTube, then I definitely appreciate a few likes or a subscribe there. But otherwise, if you didn't enjoy it, then don't do any of those things, and I won't ever see you again. But hopefully I do. Thank you again for watching. My name is Pooks. I will see you next time.